I am so glad this piece of crap season is over.
You're not kidding. I can't think of anything to be optimistic about.
Well, I mean, Jake Gardner's shown so much promise.
Yeah, but I mean, he's one guy.
Marlies are poised for a big playoff run. You can always get excited for that.
Yeah, the minor league team's doing better. I guess that's good, but what about the big team?
Oh, and the Winter Classic next season? I can't wait for the Winter Classic. Do you have $300 I can borrow so I can get tickets? I'm saving you from yourself. It's for your own good. Get back!
And then,
Yes, please do.
What a great goal!
Dude, crazy throwing waffles. Who are you?
Optimus Prime.
Sorry about that. What is that? Is that coming from the No. Oh, that's the stench of defeat. Leafs lose 4-1 to the Montreal Canadiens, and long before this game, miss out on the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 7th consecutive season, not including the lockout. Before I really get into it, allow me to show you a clip from LFR4 82. That's the last LFR video from last season. But it just seems, for the first time in a long time, there's actual optimism. At the end of last season, it was kind of like, all right, well, we got a young team, and I can kind of see what they're trying to do. But a lot of young Leafs stepped into the NHL this season and proved they belong. Matt Fratton was a runner-up for the Hobie Baker. Jake Gardner and Joe Colborne look like excellent young additions to the team. Lupul has looked fantastic with a top six that has struggled at times, and he's battled injuries this season. And there's a new goalie in town who's put up better numbers than any Leaf goaltender since well before the lockout.
Optimus Prime.
And it seems that fans finally have a reason to hope. I know what you're thinking. The camera's a lot better. Also, what an idiot. Here's what's so crazy about the optimism that I talked about in that video. Up until like a month and a half ago, I was right. They were fighting for first place in the NHL at the beginning of December. Had a January that saw Gustafsson and Reimer split like 5 shutouts. They were still well in a playoff spot. They won 4 straight games to start January, 3 straight games to start February, and then February 7th, 2012, they lost 2-1 to Winnipeg and were never the same. They won 2 consecutive games just once in their final 29 games, following those wins up with an 8-0 loss to Boston. The Leafs went 7-18-4 in their final 29 games, getting just 18 out of a possible 58 points. The Leafs finished the season with 80 points. If they had just gone 500 over that 29 game stretch, they would have finished with 91. Washington and Ottawa finished 7th and 8th in the East with just 92. They faced Ottawa once over that stretch and beat them, but they faced Washington twice and lost in regulation both times. Who knows what would have happened? The Leafs were 28-19-6 before the collapse. 9 games over 500. They finished the season 2 games under. I could throw out depressing stats all day, but here's what it really comes down to. A few years ago when the Leafs finished second last, they were just awful. There was at least some notion of optimism because, all right, Phil Kessel, a little bit of bringing Phaneuf on board, and we got some changes going on. We see what's happening. Last season, this Reimer kid's pretty good. All right, bring Joffrey Lupul on board. Let's see what he can do. Jake Gardner, pretty excited about that. Joe Colborne, all right, a little bit of different philosophy. I like this. Bring John Michael Isles on board. Tim Connolly, all right, some of the kids are getting better. This is great. Can't miss the playoffs. And up until a Leafs 6-3 February 6th win over the Edmonton Oilers at home, you were absolutely right. And the giant difference between the end of this season and the end of the last couple is fans are just going, what? They were doing so well, or at least well enough, and here's what the collapse has done. If the Leafs just find a way to just gather all this money and they throw it at Ryan Suter's face and they throw it at Zach Parise's face, they put together a huge package and acquire Rick Nash, they cut the fat, they pay some mad scientist named Larry, I don't know why his name's Larry, to clone Wayne Gretzky, and they put him on the first 2 lines, they clone him more than once, and I just won't care. Because February 6, 2013 is going to come around, and I don't care if the Leafs are first place in the entire NHL by 20 points until they actually clinch a playoff spot. I'm going to be like, yeah, so? If you had a girlfriend or boyfriend this unreliable, you would have dumped them a long time ago. And I think that's what a lot of fans are going to do. I'd love to tell you about some of the positives on the Leafs end of things. You like to think they're going to go out and get another goalie with Gustafsson likely leaving town. They have some great prospects in the system. They're going to have a very high draft pick this season, but I'm done giving this team the benefit of the doubt until they actually achieve some results. I'm broken, I think. When I was a little kid, I used to love dogs. I used to love little puppies. Play with them. And then one bit me. And after that, I didn't like dogs anymore. At a very young age, I was like, hey, it was fun, but I don't want to get bit again, so see ya. Now I'm older and I'm better with them. I can still pet them, but every time they make a sudden movement, I'm like, eh. I think that's how a lot of Leafs fans feel. How many times you gotta get bit by the dog before you stop playing with it? Well, this was incredibly depressing. Look, I'll do a more in-depth, hopefully more cheerful video at some point soon. But just for now, boo, this team sucks. To answer the question I answer every year, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do LFRs again next season. Not 100% sure, but I'd like to. Still going to be writing blogs, still going to be making videos on the playoffs, and just doing a whole bunch of other hockey stuff. And I will always keep you up to date on the stuff I'm doing and the rest of the hockey happenings from around the world. Rather than give you a whole bunch of links, here's the About page on stevedangle.com. It's got all of them there for you. stevedangle.com poll. Who is your favorite to win the 2012 Stanley Cup? It sure shoot ain't the Leafs. Thank you very much for watching Season 5 of LFR. Wow, I can't... Season 5? What? Thank you for watching. And I will see you when I see it. What am I talking about? You'll see me in a few days. I'll make a video soon.